welcome to Lovin' Life's Journey. I'm Chantel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I love lanterns. And I like figuring out ways to make them on a budget and make them look high-end. So in today's video, I have a lantern with a winter or Christmas scene in it that looks really high-end, but it's so budget-friendly, and I'm really excited to show you. I also have two easy projects to show you for those of you who might be new to crafting, and I have some tips to give you on how to select items at Dollar Tree so that you can put them together and make some great looking crafts. So let's jump in and get started. To make my lantern, I will be using two of these floating shelves from Dollar Tree. And I will be using 12 of these 12-inch dowels, also from Dollar Tree. And there are 10 in a package, so you do have to buy 2 packages. I will also be using just the lid from this cardboard gift box. And this small wooden wall art or decor piece. I'm going to be using a small piece of this microfiber towel from the car care aisle in Dollar Tree, and this little white church Christmas ornament, as well as one of these miniature trees. And also I am going to use some of the miniatures. I chose this park bench and the 2 lamp posts. The only thing I'm using that did not come from Dollar Tree is one of these wooden balls. These are 1.5 inches in diameter. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby, and I'm using the ones that have one side that is flat. For the light in my lantern, I will be using this small little Tupperware container from Dollar Tree. These come in a pack of, I believe, 8 for $1, and they are in the container section. And then of course I'm going to be using an LED tea light. First I'm going to take 12 of the 12-inch dowels, and I will be gluing them together in groups of 3. So I'm going to take 2 of the dowels and use some wood glue and a little bit of hot glue just to secure them and glue those together. And then in the little channel that is between them, I'm going to glue the 3rd dowel, and just adding a little more wood glue and some hot glue, and then I'm going to secure them using some rubber bands to hold them together until the glue is all dry. And I am wiping any excess glue away so you don't have any big globs or anything. So once they're glued together, you want them to look like this, so they're in a triangle. Next I'm going to take the 2 floating shelves, and I'm turning them upside down, and I'm going to be gluing them together. However, there are 2 little places where the plastic sticks out a little bit, and so I need to trim those off. I'm going to use some wire cutters just to snip that off. I would recommend wearing some eye protection for this. And so I snip them off closely, and then I'm going to use some sandpaper and just get that all nice and flush so that the 2 pieces fit together nicely. Then I'm going to take some E6000 and just glue these 2 pieces together. I'm going to use some clamps to hold mine together while the glue dries. I think they would dry okay without the clamps, but I'm just using these to make sure. While the glue is drying, I'm going to take my miter box and saw, and I'm going to cut the chicken off the top of that little decor piece. And then I'm going to sand off the rough area. And I'm going to remove the labels. And I'm using a heat gun. This is the best hack ever. Just use a heat gun and that sticker will lift right up. And then if there is any sticky residue left, just take your sticker and on that warm surface just blot it, and it will pull all of the sticky residue off. So I chose this box lid because, as you can see, it's pretty much the same size as the inside of those floating shelves. And I'm going to paint all of these pieces with the black chalk paint. You can use just an acrylic paint or craft paint for this as well. And now that my glue is dry, I'm going to measure the inside of the shelves or the base of my lantern, and I am going to cut out a piece of the white microfiber cloth that is that size. And I did trim off the edges just because I didn't want that stitching to show. I wanted it to all be nice and fluffy because this is going to be the snow in the bottom of my lantern. So I'm going to lay the fabric in there and make sure that it fits well. And I am going to need to glue my sides of my lantern into the corners of this base. So I am going to just cut off the corners of the fabric so that I can glue those in and it won't be all bunched up. And to glue these in, I am just putting some E6000 on the end of each dowel, and then I'm going to add a little hot glue in the center and just glue it into each corner. And the hot glue is going to hold it while the E6000 dries. Next, I'm going to glue the wooden ball to the center of the smaller wood piece. And then I'm going to glue that piece to the center of the gift box lid. And so I'm just measuring to make sure that it is equal on all of the sides. And again, I'll use the E6000 and a little bit of hot glue to attach this. I would recommend trying to find a sturdier wall decor piece to use instead of the gift box lid, but I couldn't find anything in my store that was the right size, so I went with this, and it did work out okay. And after the glue was dry, I did take a clear matte sealer and spray this just to make sure the paint stays on and it lasts well. I'm going to glue down my microfiber cloth just with hot glue. Then I'm going to take the church ornament and cut off the hanger and also remove the little bit of greenery that is on this because I want it to look a little bit more realistic. And I'm going to arrange all my pieces and get them where I want them before I glue anything down. So I decided to use the smaller of the two trees. I thought it looked better in this little scene. And then I decided to take some white paint and add a little bit to the bench so that it looked like it had a little bit of snow that had fallen on it, and then I also added it to both of the lamp posts. And then I'm going to secure all of the pieces down with hot glue. Next, I'm going to glue my light to the bottom of my lid, and the tea light will go upside down in the little Tupperware container, and then that is going to get glued to the underside of the lid. And so I'm gluing that lid of the little container to the center of the bottom side of my lantern lid, and that way it's really easy to just set the tea light on top of that and pop the the bottom of the container on. I decided I needed some pieces to help hold the top of the lantern in place, so I'm cutting 4 little pieces of dowel just 1 inch long, and I'm going to glue them diagonal in each corner, and this will give a little place for each of those dowel sides of the lantern to fit into. And then once the glue is dry, I paint those black as well, and they just pretty much disappear. You don't really even notice that they're there. Then I'm going to take some greenery and florals from Dollar Tree. I just took this one pick and kind of tore it all apart, and I'm going to use the pieces to add some florals to this, and I also ended up using that little piece that I took off of the church ornament. Now you might notice here that the lantern is pretty tall, and I decided that it was too tall, and this was with the 12-inch dowels. I did end up cutting the dowels down to 10 inches, and I would recommend maybe going with 10 inches. Here it is finished with 10 inches high, and I like it a lot better. But I love how this turned out. I was so excited that it all came together, and I think it looks so high end. And I made it for less than $15 using all Dollar Tree items except for that one little wooden ball. If you are new to my channel, maybe you came over from the Friend Friday hop, just want to say welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button and stick around. So next I'm going to show you how to take an item from the Dollar Tree and just elevate it or change it to fit your decor. I found this little jar that is made to put a tea light in the top, and it's really cute. For $1, this is a great buy. But just by adding a few things to it, we can totally change the look of it and make it fit any decor. So the first thing that I noticed was that the snowflake was hanging off center, so I just removed the tape and moved it over so that it's hanging more right in the center. Next, I'm going to use my heat gun and remove the label and all of the adhesive where the label was. So first I'm going to show you how to transform this into a more of a farmhouse look. So I picked up this little red truck and camper in the little miniatures section at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be using the truck. I'm also going to be using just a little bit of jute twine, and I had a tiny bit of that buffalo check ribbon with the snowflakes on it that I used in my last video. I will link that in the description box below and the card above. If you like buffalo check, you need to check it out. So I'm just placing the little truck in the jar. You could glue it down, but I decided not to. Then I added some jute twine around the lid and added a little bow from that buffalo check ribbon. And now we've taken a jar from Dollar Tree that was cute, but now I've transformed it into farmhouse style. So when you pick up an item at Dollar Tree, think about the style that you want to have and then look for things that would complement that. Like I was looking for the little truck, and then I knew I had the buffalo check ribbon. So just look for things in that style that you can pair together. So now I'm going to show you how to take the same thing and make it more of a glam style. So I had these clear glass beads or gems, I'm not sure what you call them, from Dollar Tree, and I added those into the snow to give it more of an icy look. And here's a tip: if you are having trouble with static, just get a dryer sheet and wipe it around the inside of the jar, and that will help those little snow pieces to not stick to it as much. So I'm going to be using some of these adhesive rhinestones, I guess you'd call them. These are in the craft section at Dollar Tree. They usually have gold and silver and sometimes different colors, but I'm just cutting 2 rows of these so that I can wrap these around the lid. So instead of using the jute and the farmhouse ribbon, I'm using these to really glam it up. Then I'm going to take some Mod Podge, or you could just use some regular glue, and I am going to add this to the snowflake, and then I am going to put some shimmery glitter on the snowflake. And I'm using a white glitter, but you could use silver or whatever you would like to do. And then I decided I wanted to add some of these blue glass gems or beads in here as well, just to give it a little bit more color, and I really like how this turned out. I also decided to add a little bit of that rhinestone adhesive around the tea light, and you can see it totally changes the look of the same item that I picked up at Dollar Tree. Another simple DIY that is a great gift idea as well is to pick up 2 coordinating plates, and I love these new Christmas plates they have at Dollar Tree that say "'Tis the season" on the dessert plate, and I am going to add in a candlestick also from Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue that to the center of the bottom plate with E6000, and you do want to use a strong glue for this. And then I will glue the smaller plate to the top of the candlestick, and it's going to make a tiered serving plate, or you could even use it as a tiered tray. This is such an easy DIY, but it looks so great. And how fun would this be to give to someone with cookies on it or candies, or you can even, like I said, decorate it like a tiered tray to put in the center of a table for a centerpiece. I hope you enjoyed these projects and this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you stick around for lots more DIYs to come. Just hit that subscribe button and then hit that bell and set your notifications so that YouTube will notify you when I upload new videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day.